Okay, so guys, this is a quick one. This is supposed to be a very relaxed and very, thought-provoking conversation. But unfortunately, not even unfortunately, thanks to ESCOM, we have to rush into the conversation immediately because, hello, we might be load shed any moment from now. But my next guest for tonight is actually somebody I've been looking forward to having a I've been looking forward to having them on the live sessions because she has this great concept that I told her, and I don't think she believes me when I say that. She actually sells the key to unlock potential in people. I mean, when you're talking about a vision board, we're talking about somebody that is saying, I want to show you just how you can make it in life without having to go through the hustle and bustle of being another person, but instead looking within you to find what it is that uh, is needed to make you succeed. So I see here that I'm having my first live session trouble, which is, oh guys, by the way, I just pulled something together right quick. Uh, but I'm hoping that she can join Malebo Kobe immediately so that we can sort of immediately run into the conversation because we respect ESCOM. I don't know if they respect us. Do they reciprocate the effort? It's up to them. But Thursdays should belong to these live sessions according to the lineup that I have for you guys. But unfortunately, we have to comply, right? And hopefully in the summer days, this will be better. But for tonight, we've been trying to get this conversation going, and hopefully tonight we will succeed. I'm just waiting to see if Malebo is here. I'm waiting to see if she is here so that we can immediately go into the conversation. Malebo, let me know if you're here. You can summer. Oh, there we go. I'm so excited. Ooh. I'm very much excited. I went to.
Hello,
Hi,
my
Malebo.
darling. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I was just saying that I hate the fact that we have to rush this conversation thanks to, the big guys.
We know
But
who.
I really want to go through this entire conversation because guess what I have for you?
Oh, your letter.
You about the letter. So the story behind the letter is that, right? The story behind the letter is that I had read the story of Tyler Perry and how somebody suggested he writes a letter, right, for
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
And that never, like, I was just like, okay, it's one of those things Americans do. And then we went on a camp where I was part of what they call enactors. It's a entrepreneurial student leadership program.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a camp, and our then president said to us, like, we had just finished doing what we needed to do, and for obstacle courses and stuff. And she said, take a pen and write a letter. You can write a letter to yourself in anything. And at the time, I mean, Malebo, people always say "Ke goisha" and all of that, and we take it
Yes,
lightly. But I
yes,
was
yes, yes, yes.
I was going through a lot, but also, and I didn't know I was going through a lot, hence the decisions I was making on a daily basis. For instance, I wouldn't pitch for certain classes. I wouldn't have conversations in a certain way. Every time I was just an emotional wreck.
Mm.
And so I didn't know, that in actual fact that was what was happening to me until I wrote this letter, and then I just kept it somewhere. Then, the end of 2018, that's when I held this letter for the first time and read it to myself. And
How
so
did that feel?
when I met you again and heard that you're doing something called vision board, I was like, this lady has no idea what she's doing. to the people that she's inviting to come and do vision boards, because literally this thing, right? You see this thing here is I'm living in this vision. In the, like I wrote this vision, and I can see behind you you have pictures of what your vision should be. Now, just so that we can give a background before we go into the thingies, the technicalities.
Just to add there, when you're talking about the words, there's a quote that I live by that I love absolutely, and it says, "The words that you speak become the house that you live in." So everything that you write down is waiting for you in your future, and you're gonna live it, and it better be good. And it ties down to that Bible scripture that says, life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will be satisfied by it, by the good of it. Though if you speak well, you will live well. You know what I mean? If your words are good and they're beautiful, they're waiting for you. Like, don't think you're going to do something very you're going to speak mediocrity today and start to live excellence tomorrow. It's not going to happen. The words you speak today become the house you live in.
I love that. So the secret lies in the words you speak to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you and you are giving a very practical example that you wrote down a letter that you wrote, and you were in a state and you didn't even see where you were going or whatnot, but you wanted to be somewhere. And when you held that letter again, you were living it. So you weren't even keeping track, but everything else was conspiring to be exactly that house that you had said you want to live in.
Now, how similar is it to vision board?
It's exactly the same thing, except a vision board now uses pictures. We are going beyond words, and we are using pictures. I mean, some people are wordsmiths than they're word people, but other people, it works better when you visualize it. You know, when you see it, when you can conceptualize or encapsulate what words capture, and put it on a picture and say, I want to drive a beautiful black car. But now you actually have the brand, you even have the background, like the atmosphere, the clouds. It's going to be on a nice rainy day, and you're going to be driving your luxurious car, whatever. But like it actually works better to arouse emotions, so to speak.
So yeah. Would a vision board be the same as a New Year's resolution?
It would be exactly the same. It would be exactly the same, except with our New Year's resolutions. Definitely, I know we say them and we put them in the back burner. We never look at them again, and we never ever have a sort of active change in mind and in heart about our lifestyles and what we are intending to achieve. So we are never reminded of them. The clock strikes 12 and we make these resolutions and goals, but we never go back to them. So we are never reminded, and we never see them. They're not in our pathway. They're not in our everyday to-day lives. So with something like a vision board, you can hang it up on your bedroom door, in the back of your bedroom door, and every morning when you wake up, this is what you are reminded by. And slowly but surely, you are programming your mind to actually start steering the decisions that you're making in that direction. So that's why New Year's resolutions are great, but they don't have a consistency or follow through with them, because we say them when the clock strikes 3 or strikes 12, and then that's it. We never again visit it. We never again look at it. We just, it just goes by.
Yeah. Malebo, what's your story with the vision board? Where did you start with the vision board? How did you come about the concept of, okay, I should even bring people to this, solution that I have, this party, this newfound hobby of vision board?
I think during the interview, I did say that my journey with it started at 2018 when my dad passed away. And I was like, okay, there's so many spaces of sort of grief and things that I couldn't do. So in the space of that, I was like, what do I then envision for my life? I understand there's
Yeah.
so much pain currently, but I mean, there's purpose beyond that, and there's something greater that must pull me towards something that I look forward to every day. And that's when the vision board
Yeah.
started. I saw that on TV, and I was like, this is a brilliant concept. And they also related it to the Bible, Habakkuk 2:2. So that's when I was like, okay, that's good. I see it. It's got biblical resonance. It aligns with my values. Let's see how far we can take this. And so I started it then. And I did it, and then I packed it away. And then now I think I was transitioning from December. My contract ended. I was actually working at an embassy, and I was going through a transition. And I was like,
Oh,
what do I then, picture for myself? What do I then want to do with my life? And that's when I think I embarked on this new journey. And while I was doing it, I figured that there's so many other people like me, or so many other people who have goals, but maybe have forgotten to revisit them, or have forgotten to connect with themselves, their true selves, that have dreams and purposes. And maybe they'd want to come along this journey with me. And that's when I started inviting ladies. And sure enough, they were eager. They were so eager. They were excited, and we got the ball rolling.
oh man, tell me about the past event, the vision board party that you had in Polokwane. How was the turnout, and what has been the feedback so far? You're
Oh
shaking
my
your
God.
head.
Oh my God. Because the turnout was much more than I expected. And I always laugh because I always
Yes.
have these inside jokes about making room for things. Uh, God just says, make
Yeah.
room and I'll fill it. But, he just overly fills it, like he exceeds my expectations. So the turnout was awesome. I just thought I'm gonna be with 15 ladies, and we're gonna just chit chat or whatever. I said, even if it's 10, I'll be happy, but I mean 15 would be great. We had 30
Yeah.
ladies pitch up, so I was happy with that. The turnout was
Double.
excellent. Yeah, double that. And the feedback has been awesome. I think people have been craving spaces where they can relate in such a manner. I think a lot of us have
Mm.
spaces where things are very superficial and shallow, and they can dance and just have light conversations. We actually got into a
Yes.
session where people were sharing the deepest parts of themselves, because they were saying, this is the current circumstance, or this is what I've been through, and this is what I
Yes.
think I'd like to step into. And I
Mm.
think that whole room, everybody was feeding off of that energy of limitlessness and endless possibilities and potential, but in the same time
Mm.
really still acknowledging that the current space may not be as ideal as I want it to be. So we got a chance to connect and really go deep. So I think that was one of the key things that I wanted that event to embody, and it did, and I'm happy with that. The rest of it was just like the girls also made a couple of contacts and friends, because it's a networking
Oh,
event. You end up
yes.
talking and finding that you have kindred spirits around you. You have people you resonate with, people that you like, or people that may have the same goals or are in the same line of career as you. So that was
Oh
really,
my
really
gosh, I hope it's
nice.
not as
I was hoping. Is your network okay now?
I struggle to hear you a bit, but yeah, we can continue. You know what?
Are we
We work
good?
with what we have.
This is the cup. This is the cup that we are given.
I wanted, yes. So I see that we have like under 7 minutes, right? And um, just so that we can immediately wrap it up, right?
Right.
Um, what do you want to achieve, Man Malebo, with this vision boarding? Like, what is it that I know I told you before that you are in the business of unlocking potential in people? Like, you take somebody who had lost hope
Right.
and connect them to that, like, you return them back home inside themselves. But that is just my words. What is it through your own words, that you're trying to do with this whole vision board parties?
I think the same thing. I'm trying to get people to connect. I really want people to connect, like connect with yourself. I think that is the most important thing. Um,
Mm.
in the business of purpose, in the business of goals and dreams, I think the biggest thing is connection, and that's the one thing that we are lacking. And I think there's an agenda in the world. You know, I'm starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I really think I really think there is an agenda of the more we are now connected to each other externally, the less we are connected to ourselves internally. And I think
Ah,
and I think that's where we are losing it, because we are constantly being fed with so many things that are external, and we are connected with each other. So I get to see your pain immediately when someone just passed away. I get to see your pain or your excitement when you just bought a car. I'm so connected to over 200 people on my timeline, but I'm not connected to myself. And
oh
that for me
yes.
and that for me is the biggest disservice that we are doing to ourselves, and history will judge us very harshly. For generations to come, we the world or our children are depending on us to actually start to mold out a world in which they will be proud to live in, and not a world where we regurgitate things because we see this is what's happening on the timeline or externalities, but things that are from within. And I think we are so privileged to create, and this world is a blank canvas, and we need to draw
Oh,
and paint
I love that.
and live um and just enjoy it as much as possible. And we are not maximizing on it. We are not, because we are constantly being fed with things that are external. And what we do is we take it in, we regurgitate it, that becomes our words, and that becomes our world. So we are constantly in a cycle of world that refuses to change, because we are not connecting from the inside to see what we can bring out from there. So for me, connection. I want people to connect. Like, connect with
And to
yourself.
connect with
That's
the
connect with yourself, and then then show us your colors. We want to see what you want to paint in the world.
oh man, I don't know, man. You know, I had lost confidence, right? At the time when I
Right.
was writing this letter. I don't know
Mm.
if Eskom will be graceful enough for me to read out this letter so that you can understand where I'm coming from, but also to share for the first time my real story of how I came about to actually dare myself into, doing things without thinking twice.
Right.
So we're gonna try our luck, because I
We are
mean,
gonna do.
I
Escom will
did
have to bear with us.
my
We are
vision
gonna
board
do.
is in a I mean, I did my vision board in a letter format, right? And I've told the story before. And so I'm just going to try and read it out to you. This is at the time when I wasn't even confident about myself. I didn't know I could write things that could actually impact the next person. And I know I've started writing on my WhatsApp, however, and the feedback I'm getting is actually quite, it's in a way. So I'm going to try and read you what I had said to myself in 2017,
Okay.
at the time when I was like, you know.
Yeah.
So it says here, dear Bonvessel, hey girl, congratulations, you completed all the activities in the obstacle course for today, because you put away your excuses and man-made obstacles. I like how you coordinated with other kids and just rolling in the fun of the day. Two things need your attention now. Get the hell out of your comfort zone, because it will never turn you into your future self. Put yourself out there. Since you are a scared girl and you know that, try and improve your adventure gear in order for you to be more comfortable and confident when you have